In a distant corner of the Milky Way, Orion Deep Space Repair Station floated like a metallic spider's web against the backdrop of stars. The sprawling structure served as humanity's furthest outpost and had gradually become known for something unexpected: fixing things that nobody else could. Nathan Garcia wiped his brow as he studied the holographic schematic hovering before him. His dark eyes narrowed in concentration while his fingers, calloused from years of hands-on work, traced invisible patterns in the air. The alien engine core pulsed with an eerie blue glow, its internal components arranged in ways that defied conventional engineering logic. "What do you think?" asked Rita Patel, the station's operations manager. She stood with her arms crossed, her expression a mixture of curiosity and concern. Nathan tilted his head. "It's not following any design pattern I recognize, but there's always a logic to these things. Give me a few hours with it." Rita nodded. "The Virillian captain is getting nervous. Their whole trade route depends on getting back underway soon." The Virillians were the newest alien species to seek help at the station. Their ship had limped in 3 days ago after visiting 4 other repair facilities run by older, supposedly more advanced species. None had been able to solve their problem. Nathan approached the actual engine in the hangar bay. It stood nearly 15 feet tall, a twisted configuration of crystalline components and metallic conduits. The Virillian engineer, a tall, spindly being with iridescent skin, hovered nearby, all 6 of its eyes blinking anxiously. "Your species has only been spacefaring for 2 centuries, the alien said, its translation device rendering its clicks and whistles into English. "Our technology is based on principles your science has barely begun to explore." Nathan smiled. "That might be our advantage. We haven't learned enough to know what's supposed to be impossible yet." He circled the engine, not consulting the manual or the specifications the Virillians had provided. Instead, he watched how energy flowed through the visible conduits, listening to the subtle vibrations that travel through the structure. "The problem isn't the primary accelerator like your engineers thought," Nathan said after 20 minutes of observation. "It's this." He pointed to an inconspicuous junction where 3 different conduits met. "This connection is supposed to harmonize the energy frequencies, but it's creating interference patterns instead." The Virillian engineer's skin changed from anxious orange to skeptical purple. "Impossible. That component was manufactured to exact specifications." "Exact wrong specifications," Nathan murmured. He grabbed a toolkit and climbed up on a platform. "Your manufacturing standards would work perfectly in your home system, but you're traveling through regions with different background radiation profiles. The materials are resonating differently out here." Over the next 4 hours, Nathan disassembled and rebuilt the junction, occasionally asking for materials from the station's fabrication lab. He worked intuitively, sometimes closing his eyes to feel the vibrations better. By the time he finished, a small crowd had gathered. Other alien visitors watched alongside human crew members, whispering among themselves. "Try it now," Nathan told the Virillian captain. The engine hummed to life, its blue glow shifting to a healthy greenish tint. Energy readings stabilized across all monitors. The Virillian engineer's skin pulsed with bright yellow shock. "How? This defies conventional engineering principles." "Not really," Nathan replied. "I just listened to what the machine was telling me instead of what the manual said it should do." As the grateful Virillians prepared to depart, Rita approached Nathan with a smile. "You know what this means, right? Word is going to spread." Nathan nodded, already distracted by another repair request coming in from a species they'd never encountered before. "Let them come," he said. "Turns out the galaxy needs people who can improvise." 3 weeks after Nathan's successful repair of the Virillian vessel, the Orion Deep Space Repair Station was busier than ever. Ships of various configurations hovered near the docking bays, waiting their turn. Some had traveled for weeks just to reach the station. Another Drazhak cruiser requesting emergency docking clearance called out Joe Franklin from his monitoring station. "That's the 3rd one this month." Olivia Martinez nodded as she updated the diplomatic protocols on her tablet. As the station's chief diplomatic officer, she had the challenging job of managing relationships with the growing number of alien species seeking human help. Their ambassador sent a message ahead, she said. Apparently, their engineering guild refused to believe our repair methods would work until the first ship we fixed made it back to their homeworld. The station's meeting room had become Olivia's second home. Today, she sat across from a delegation of Krell, insectoid beings with compound eyes and clicking mandibles. Their translator devices hummed softly. "We do not understand," said the lead Krell, its antennae twitching. "Your species was barely traveling between your own planets when ours had already mapped 1,000 star systems. How can you fix what our most advanced engineers cannot?" Olivia smiled. "Humans approach problems differently. We don't always follow established procedures." "This is exactly what concerns us," the Krell responded. "Your methods appear random, even chaotic. But they work," Olivia pointed out gently. After the meeting, she walked through the main repair bay where Nathan and his team were tackling their most challenging case yet. A massive Tellurian Arc ship had arrived with failing life support systems. Its crystalline technology was notoriously difficult to interface with. "Standard adapters won't work," said Eli Rogers, one of Nathan's junior engineers. "The energy fluctuations are too unpredictable." Nathan looked at the alien components spread across the workbench. "Then we'll make our own adapters. Get me those old mining laser parts from Bay 4 and some of that conductive gel the Andorians left behind." Eli stared at him. "You want to combine technologies from 3 different species. Why not?" "Physics is universal, even if engineering traditions aren't." Olivia watched as they improvised a solution using parts never designed to work together. When the system finally stabilized, the Tellurian captain's color-based communication patterns showed clear signs of relief. Word continued to spread. Traffic controllers reported ships arriving from sectors of space humanity had never even mapped. The station's database of alien technologies grew exponentially as each repair taught them something new. In the station's canteen, Olivia joined Nathan for a rare quiet moment. "I received a transmission from Earth Command today," she said, stirring her coffee. "They're calling us a strategic diplomatic asset now. Apparently fixing ships gives humans more political influence than a dozen trade agreements." Nathan laughed. "I'm just solving puzzles. That's all this is." "That's not how the galaxy sees it. The Virillian Trade Confederation is offering advanced navigation technology in exchange for training some of their engineers in human repair methodology." "There's no special methodology," Nathan protested. "We just try things until something works." Olivia's expression turned serious. "That's exactly what makes it special. Most species out there have centuries of rigid traditions. Their engineers follow precise rules established generations ago. They don't experiment." Before Nathan could respond, the station's alert system chimed. "Unidentified vessel approaching," announced the automated system. "Configuration unknown. Requesting emergency assistance." Nathan drained his coffee and stood up. "Duty calls. Be diplomatic," Olivia reminded him. "We're becoming the repair hub for half the galaxy." As they hurried to the docking bay, screens throughout the station displayed the approaching ship. It was unlike anything they had seen before, ancient and impossibly complex. The puzzle solver in Nathan couldn't help but smile. The main repair bay of Orion Station buzzed with activity as William Bill Murphy pressed his ear against the hull of a Xanthian courier ship. His eyes closed in concentration. At 63, Bill was the oldest technician on the station, with hair gone completely white and hands marked by decades of work with machines. "Hear that?" he asked the young apprentice beside him. "That's a harmonic imbalance in the quantum drive. Sounds like a washing machine with a brick in it." The apprentice looked confused. "I don't hear anything, sir." Bill grinned. "You will someday. Takes years to develop the ear for it." He tapped a specific point on the alien vessel. "Problems right here. The resonance chamber is misaligned by about 3 microns. Across the bay, 4 different species of alien engineers watched in fascination as Bill diagnosed in minutes what their instruments had failed to detect after days of scanning. The station's main computer chimed with an incoming priority message. Attention repair teams. The Drokari diplomatic vessel has cleared quarantine procedures and is approaching Dock 7. Technical liaison requested immediately. Bill wiped his hands on a rag tucked into his belt. Finish the alignment calibration here. Remember, gentle pressure, like you're handling an egg. He made his way through the crowded corridors of the station. What had begun as a simple repair outpost had evolved into something much more complex. Special translation interfaces had been installed throughout the facility to handle the technical jargon of dozens of species. The station's database now contained technical specifications for over 300 types of propulsion systems, many of which humans had never even encountered before their creators brought them to Orion for repairs. At Dock 7, Bill met up with Olivia and Nathan. The Drokari ship that glided into the docking bay resembled a massive jellyfish, translucent sections pulsing with internal lights. "They're a new contact," Olivia explained. "Highly advanced, very private species. This is unprecedented access to their technology." Nathan looked excited. "Any idea what's wrong with their ship?" Their message mentioned something about temporal displacement in the causality engines. "Whatever that means." Bill snorted. "Fancy name for what's probably a simple mechanical issue." The Drokari emerged from their vessel, floating rather than walking. Their bodies seemed partly solid, partly energy. The lead diplomat communicated through a special interface that translated their thought patterns directly. "We seek the human fixers," the translation came through. "Our vessel's functions degrade. Others have said only humans possess the necessary irregularity of thought." Bill stepped forward. "I'll need to take a look at your engines. Do you have schematics you can share with our system?" The Drokari diplomat pulsed with light patterns. "We cannot. The technology is restricted. You must diagnose without prior knowledge." "Even better," Bill said with a smile. "Sometimes manuals just get in the way." The interior of the Drokari ship defied conventional engineering logic. Pathways shifted and reconnected as they walked. What appeared to be the engine room contained no visible moving parts, just fields of energy suspended in precise patterns. Bill walked around the space, occasionally stopping to listen or place his hand near, but never touching the energy fields. After 15 minutes, he pointed to an area where the energy appeared slightly dimmer. "Your problem is right there. The field synchronization is off by a fraction. Probably happened when you passed through that ion storm in Sector 47. The Drokari lights pulsed rapidly. "How could you know we encountered an ion storm?" Bill shrugged. "The pattern of the distortion. Seen it before, just never in this type of engine. Technology changes, but physics stays the same." As the human team began working on the repair, word of their latest challenge spread through the station. Their growing technical library, a collection of knowledge from across the galaxy, expanded with each new visitor. But it was the human approach to problem solving. The ability to diagnose by instinct and experience rather than rigid procedure that continued to amaze their alien clients. The celestial mechanics of Orion Station were becoming legendary. The ancient vessel that approached Orion Station resembled nothing in their database. Its hull seemed to shift between solid matter and energy, with patterns that moved like slow-flowing water across its surface. Scans revealed it was over 8,000 years old, predating human civilization itself. "We've got 4 life signs aboard," reported the docking controller. "Species unknown." Director Lisa Wilson called an emergency meeting of the station's senior staff. "This is beyond our usual work. I need our best people on this." Nathan and Bill were already reviewing the preliminary scans when Sam Collins strode into the room. Sam had joined the station just 3 months ago after spending 15 years salvaging derelict ships on the frontier. His knowledge of hybrid systems was unmatched. "Heard you've got something interesting," he said, dropping into a chair. His red beard couldn't hide the old burn scar that ran along his jawline. a reminder of a salvage operation gone wrong. Lisa nodded. We've established basic communication. They're called the Archivist Collective. Their homeworld faces an extinction-level event in 14 days. Their ship contains technology to prevent it, but the drive system has degraded. They've already tried getting help from the Virillion Engineering Guild and the Krell Science Directorate, Olivia added. Both declared the technology beyond repair. Sam whistled low. So they came to the crazy humans as a last resort. Pretty much, Nathan confirmed. The archivists were permitted to dock, and their appearance surprised everyone. They resembled tall, slender humanoids with translucent skin, through which complex symbols constantly flowed like living tattoos. Our gratitude for receiving us, the lead archivist communicated through a device on its wrist. Time diminishes for our world. 7 billion lives await our return. The human team was escorted into the alien vessel. Inside, the ship seemed larger than its exterior suggested. The engine room contained technology that appeared to fold in on itself, existing partially in dimensions beyond normal space. I've never seen anything like this, Nathan admitted, staring at components that seemed to disappear and reappear as he changed his viewing angle. The archivist explained, Our ancestors built this vessel when stars were young. The knowledge to repair it was lost millennia ago. Sam circled the engine core, his eyes narrowed. It's not completely alien. See this. He pointed to a section where the strange technology interfaced with more conventional systems. They'd been patching it over the centuries. Layers upon layers of repairs. For 3 days, the team worked around the clock. They brought in specialists from every department and consulted the vast library of technical data they'd accumulated from other species. Nothing matched the core technology of the archivist vessel. It's hopeless, Bill finally said, his usual confidence gone. We might as well be cavemen trying to fix a quantum computer. Sam had been unusually quiet, studying the engine from different angles. We're approaching this wrong, he said suddenly. We're trying to understand how it works. That's generally how you fix things, Nathan replied dryly. Not always. Sam grinned. On the frontier, I salvaged tech I never understood, but I could see patterns of energy flow. This system is damaged, but the patterns still exist, like ghostly impressions. He grabbed a datapad and began sketching. Look, the energy wants to flow like this, but the damaged sections are forcing it elsewhere. We don't need to understand the technology. We just need to restore the original pattern. Using materials from 6 different alien species plus human components, they constructed a bypass system. Sam worked intuitively, sometimes with his eyes closed, feeling the energy flows rather than measuring them. On the 4th day, the strange engine hummed to life. The patterns on the hull began flowing smoothly again. The lead archivist's symbols flowed rapidly across its skin. Impossible, it communicated. You have accomplished what civilizations far older than yours deemed impossible. Sam shrugged. Sometimes not knowing something can't be fixed is the best qualification for fixing it. As the ancient vessel prepared to depart, Olivia recorded their technical solution for the station's growing database. The impossible fix had just become possible, the human way. The observation deck of Orion Station offered the best view of what had become a galactic marvel. Lissa Wilson stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching the steady stream of spacecraft entering and leaving the expanded docking facilities. What had begun as a single repair station had grown into a sprawling complex that now included 5 massive repair bays, specialized fabrication facilities, and an entire section dedicated to interspecies technical education. Quite a sight, isn't it? Asked Commander Harper from Earth Central Command. He had arrived on the weekly supply ship, his first visit in over 2 years. Lisa nodded. Hard to believe it all started with Nathan fixing one alien engine. That's precisely why I'm here, Harper said. Earth government has officially designated Orion Station as a strategic asset of humanity. Your budget has been quadrupled. Below them, a team of human engineers worked alongside Virillion apprentices, teaching them techniques that defied their species' traditional approaches to technology. In another bay, Bill Murphy was conducting what he called his listening classes, teaching aliens with suitable auditory organs how to diagnose engine problems by sound. The economic benefits have been substantial, Lisa explained as they walked toward the administration section. We've received technology trades that have advanced our capabilities by decades. The diplomatic advantages are even greater. So I've heard. 3 interspecies conflicts have been averted because neither side wanted to lose access to Orion's repair services. Lisa smiled. We've become too valuable to attack. In the main conference room, representatives from 12 species were discussing the establishment of standardized emergency repair protocols. Olivia Martinez expertly guided the conversation, helping bridge vast cultural and technological differences. The Zorathi Confederation has officially requested a human repair outpost in their sector. She informed Lisa when the meeting concluded. They're offering exclusive mining rights to 3 asteroid belts in exchange. Add it to the list, Lisa replied. That's the 17th request this month. Later that day, Lisa met with her senior staff to discuss a more troubling development. Sam Collins brought up a holographic display showing communications traffic across known space. There's been increasing chatter about human repair methodology, he explained. Some of the older spacefaring species are starting to see us as a threat to their technological dominance. Nathan frowned. We're just fixing ships. How is that threatening? Because we're sharing knowledge freely, Olivia replied. The Krell Engineering Guild has operated as a closed society for millennia, guarding their techniques and charging exorbitant fees. Our open approach undermines their entire economic model. There's more, Sam continued. Several major alien engineering consortiums have formed an alliance. They're publicly questioning whether humans are truly as skilled as our reputation suggests. Lisa studied the data. They're claiming our successes are exaggerated. Worse, Bill growled. They're suggesting we've just been lucky, that our methods are unsafe and unsustainable. The tension in the room was palpable. What had begun as a simple repair operation had evolved into something that was reshaping the power dynamics of interstellar civilization. Human ingenuity, the ability to improvise, to combine disparate technologies, to think beyond established patterns, was disrupting traditions thousands of years old. We knew this might happen eventually, Lisa said. Success breeds competition, and we've become very successful. Through the viewport, they could see the latest arrival, a massive Drazarian high ship, its crystalline structure glittering in the light of the nearby star. It represented a species that had previously refused all contact with younger civilizations like humanity. They need us now, Sam observed. But they don't like needing us. Lisa's communication device chimed with a priority message. Her expression grew serious as she read it. It seems our challengers are making their move, she announced. The engineering consortium is sending a vessel that they claim will test the limits of human repair capabilities. They're making it a public spectacle. A challenge, then, Nathan said quietly. Lisa nodded. One we can't afford to lose. The engineering consortium's vessel arrived with great ceremony. Representatives from 22 species gathered in the observation lounge as the ship docked. It was an impressive craft, sleek and elegant, combining design elements from the 5 oldest spacefaring civilizations. The consortium presents the Exemplar, announced the Krell ambassador, his mandibles clicking rhythmically. A vessel of perfect engineering. We have introduced a single critical malfunction. If your human repair crews can identify and correct it within 3 standard days, we will acknowledge your methods as valid. Olivia stepped forward. And if we cannot? Then the consortium will issue a formal advisory to all spacefaring species warning of the dangers of human repair techniques. Additionally, we will establish our own network of proper repair stations adhering to established protocols. Lisa nodded formally. We accept your challenge. The terms were set. Nathan, Bill, Sam, and 2 junior engineers would have exclusive access to the vessel. No scans or diagnostic tools beyond those provided by the consortium would be permitted. The countdown began immediately. From the first moment aboard the Exemplar, the human team knew something was wrong. "This ship doesn't feel right," Bill muttered, placing his hand against a bulkhead. "There's no vibration at all." Nathan nodded. "The energy flows are too perfect. No system runs this cleanly." They spent the first day examining every component of the vessel. Each was flawless, manufactured to tolerances beyond human capability. The propulsion system, life support, navigation, all functioned exactly as designed. "This doesn't make sense," Sam said as they gathered in the engine room at the end of the day. "There's no malfunction. Everything works perfectly." "Which means they're lying," Nathan concluded. Or the malfunction is intentional," Bill finished. "Part of the design." By the second day, rumors spread throughout the station. Alien visitors whispered that the humans had finally met their match. Markets across several sectors began speculating on the economic impact should human repair methodology be discredited. Inside the Exemplar, frustration mounted. The human team had disassembled and reassembled key systems multiple times. They checked interfaces, power levels, and software protocols. Nothing. "We're missing something fundamental," Nathan said, rubbing his tired eyes. "They've rigged this somehow." Sam had been quiet for hours, methodically reviewing the ship's structural schematics. Suddenly, he looked up. "The problem isn't what's wrong with the ship, it's what's missing." He pointed to a small notation in the corner of the blueprint. This ship was designed by 5 different species, each responsible for different systems, but they don't share standard communication protocols between components. "So how are the systems talking to each other?" Bill asked. "They're not," Sam replied. "This ship has been designed to fail the moment it's activated for actual flight." They worked through the night, documenting their findings. The Exemplar wasn't just malfunctioning. It was sabotaged by its own creators, intentionally designed with incompatible systems that would catastrophically fail when engaged. On the morning of the third day, with just 4 hours remaining, Lisa received an urgent request for a private meeting from the Krell ambassador. "We know what you've done," she told the alien diplomat once they were alone. "The Exemplar was never meant to be repaired because it was never meant to function. It's a publicity stunt." The ambassador's compound eyes gleamed. "Then you admit defeat." "On the contrary," Lisa replied, sliding a data tablet across the table. "My team has not only identified the intentional design flaws, but has developed a comprehensive integration system that would allow all 5 technological architectures to communicate seamlessly." The alien's antennae twitched in agitation. "Impossible. The incompatibilities are fundamental." Lisa smiled. "Yet we solved it anyway. And when we present our solution publicly, everyone will know the consortium tried to cheat." Back aboard the Exemplar, the human team waited nervously as the final hour approached. The outcome wouldn't just affect the station's reputation. It would determine humanity's place in the galactic community. "Whatever happens," Nathan told his team, "we did our best." Sam nodded toward the viewport where they could see the gathering crowd. "But our best might not be enough this time." The grand observation deck of Orion Station had never been so crowded. Representatives from dozens of species pressed against viewports as the final hour of the challenge ticked away. The engineering consortium members stood rigidly in their formal attire, confidence evident in their posture. Nathan and his team emerged from the Exemplar with just 15 minutes to spare. They looked exhausted but determined as they approached the central presentation area where Lisa and Olivia waited. "We're ready," Nathan said quietly. The Krell ambassador stepped forward, mandibles clicking in what those familiar with the species recognized as amusement. "The time has nearly expired. Do the humans acknowledge their failure?" Sam Collins stepped forward instead of Lisa. "Actually, we'd like to demonstrate our solution." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The Drokari representatives' energy patterns pulsed with surprise. The Virillian delegation's skin tones shifted to colors indicating interest. "There is nothing to demonstrate. The ambassador insisted. The Exemplar cannot be repaired because it was designed to fail. Nathan interrupted. The 5 technological systems were intentionally created to be incompatible. The moment the ship attempted actual spaceflight, cascade failures would destroy it. Bill Murphy activated a holographic display showing the ship's schematics. But that's not a repair problem. That's a design problem. And humans, Sam added, are very good at solving problems. With a dramatic gesture, Olivia activated a remote control. Inside the docked Exemplar, systems began humming to life. On the holographic display, energy flowed smoothly between previously incompatible components. Impossible, shouted a Tellurian engineer from the consortium. Those systems cannot interface. They couldn't, corrected Nathan. Until we built this. He held up what appeared to be a simple metallic cube. We call it the Harmony Box. It contains translation protocols for all 5 technological architectures. Sam continued the explanation. We didn't try to fix your intentional errors. Instead, we created something new, a bridge between incompatible systems. Different technologies speaking different languages, now working together. The observation deck erupted with noise as the implications became clear. The consortium had tried to trap the humans with an impossible task, but they had responded by creating something revolutionary. The real failure, Lisa addressed the crowd, wasn't in the ship systems. It was in believing that different approaches cannot work together. She turned to face the consortium members. The very diversity you tried to use against us is actually our greatest strength. The demonstration continued as the Exemplar's engines powered up to full capacity. The ship's performance metrics exceeded design specifications by 17%. How? Asked the Krell ambassador, his arrogance replaced with genuine curiosity. How do humans approach problems so differently? Bill smiled. We fail a lot. And we learn from every failure. We borrow ideas from everywhere, added Sam. No technological tradition is sacred to us. And we work together, Nathan concluded. Specialists from different fields, finding connections others miss. In the days that followed, the story of the challenge spread across known space. The engineering consortium publicly acknowledged the validity of human repair methodology. More significantly, they requested permission to study the Harmony Box technology. 6 months later, Orion Station had expanded again. A new wing housed the Interspecies Engineering Academy, where humans taught their approach to problem-solving alongside technical experts from a dozen alien civilizations. What had begun as a simple repair station had evolved into a center for galactic innovation. In the Academy's main hall, a simple plaque displayed words that had become the unofficial motto of human engineers throughout known space. The universe breaks everything eventually. Our job is to put it back together, sometimes better than before. And across the galaxy, when ships encountered trouble far from home, captains would set course for the nearest human repair station, now affectionately known as the Fixer's Sanctuary, where the impossible was just another problem waiting to be solved.